Today we are going to be taking a look at the Ultimate 2C Bluetooth controller by 8Bitdo. Now there are several different versions of the Ultimate controller. Some have more buttons than others, some are compatible with multiple devices, some are wired, and some are wireless. Now I've actually purchased two Ultimate controllers. The pink one you see here is primarily for the Switch and the Switch 2, but I also have the wired one which is for Android and PC. But today we'll be focusing on the Switch one, seeing as they both have the exact same number of buttons and the only real difference is what they are capable of connecting to. So without further ado, let's take this thing out of the box and have a look at it. So as mentioned before, this one is indeed compatible with the Switch, and with a firmware update, it is apparently compatible with the Switch 2. I don't have a Switch 2, so I can't test this. Now first of all, I have to say this controller feels very comfortable. Turning it over, you can see that it's a different shade of pink on the back of it. The analog sticks, they feel really smooth, they move really nicely. They move well, they click well. The D-pad here feels quite good. I know a lot of people that are into retro gaming tend to be really critical of the D-pad, but here, I think it's a decent one. The action buttons feel good and responsive, not too much resistance, and at the same time, not too little. And if you have a look up here, with the trigger buttons, we have R1, R2, L1, L2, but we also have an L4 and an R4. Obviously, the L3 and R3 are the analog sticks being put in. These two buttons here can be mapped to whatever you like, if the game you're playing actually allows it, of course. And just like that, it's synchronized to the console, no trouble, no problems, easy as anything. Now the game I'm going to be playing here is Yakuza Kiwami, which is essentially a remake of the first Yakuza. I know, I'm late to the game, I'm meant to be a big Sega guy, I've never played a Yakuza game up till now. But I thought this would be a good game to test the controller out on because it does use a lot of the different buttons, including the trigger buttons. I can see why they call this the Ultimate controller. 8Bitdo has many different versions of this controller. It's all essentially the same thing in terms of shape, and I can see why because it is so comfortable. This controller feels great, it feels sturdy, it feels like a decent product. I do not know why it's taken me so long to get one of these. Well, actually, that's a lie. I do. Typically, Ultimate controllers come in not just a different range of how many buttons they have, what they can connect to, but also Ultimate controllers have very different price ranges. This was by far one of the more affordable Ultimate controllers, simply because it doesn't have the extra buttons on the back, and it's really only for Nintendo Switch gamers, which is fine, that's what I primarily want it for. And of course, if you want something where you can connect to your PC, then the other Ultimate controller I had mentioned earlier may be the one for you. Now what's really weird, or what I find to be rather weird, is this controller has something called a wake and shake feature. I've never heard of that, but apparently this controller can wake a Nintendo Switch from sleep mode. Normally, only the Nintendo Switch Pro controller can do anything like this. No other controller can even turn the console on. This one can apparently turn it on from sleep mode at the very least, by, you guessed it, shaking the controller. Turn it on and shake it. Let's see if I can get it to work. Well, what do you know? It works. Although admittedly I couldn't get it to work the first time, maybe I was shaking it wrong, but it does seem to actually work. Another feature in this controller is the turbo button. It is supposed to be incredibly simple to assign turbo to any of the action buttons. And when you quit out of the game or put it in sleep mode, it will then turn the turbo off when you come back to the game. Here I'm going to be testing it with Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, simply because I felt like it. And holy hell, it works, and I have to say, with this game, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. I may cheat and use this feature on this game from now on. Did I say cheat? I meant show off my skills in a new and incredible way. So anyway, that was the Ultimate 2C Bluetooth controller for the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. I love this thing. This could be my new favorite controller. If you are umming and ahhing about getting an Ultimate controller, I say do it. But just make sure you're getting the right one. Again, there are many different ones out there. Make sure whatever it is you want to connect to, you get the right controller for that device. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment, click like, subscribe, whatever. It's all good. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.